Wow, incredible. A lot of videos. A lot of videos. I don't know how long I've been here. I think I got here around 1 o'clock, and it's going on 8 o'clock, so about 7 hours worth. I don't know. When will they end? I don't know. Oh, the whole thing will end, Marisol, when my children know the truth. And the children know the truth. And and they're going to be hurt. There's no question about that. They're going to be hurt if they've been lied to, if the truth has been kept away from them, which they have. That's why I say, Marisol, come clean. Get them together or separately and talk to them about what you did. Come clean. You do not want them coming to you and asking you, especially since I'm putting this on video here, asking why you didn't come clean with them. You don't want that happening, Marisol. Talk to the Ingas if you're still in relations with them. Talk to the Sabillons, Dr. Armando Cruz, Jesse. Talk to the pastor wherever you're going to, whatever Christian church you're going to. Before it's too late, Marisol. The damage, the hurt that you will do to them if you don't come clean. Just think about that part. By not coming clean with them, not being honest with them, not being truthful to them now, when you have this opportunity, this small window that I'm going to give you, is beyond. And they may not believe a word that I say at this time. That's possible. Because I don't know how much filth, how many lies by your parents, your brothers, others, and so on have been put into their minds. But it definitely has. The question is who and how much. So they might not want to believe what's on here, might refuse it because it's painful. But you know what? A day will come when they will. They'll look at these because they'll always be there. And they're going to look at it and they're going to see my heart. They're going to see the heart. They're going to see the heart, Marisol. And they're going to know that their father is not a liar. They know that their father has integrity. You know, it's kind of interesting. This reminds me when I was in jail for those 19 days. That was kind of fun. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in prayer and everything. But while I was in jail, you know, there was a small ministry there and all that. And they would have every night prayer and all that, 5 or 6 people. And for the first part, I didn't want to go. But eventually I did. And I would watch. It made basically more like a bystander. Eventually I had to get involved because they were missing it so big time based on the teachings and what I had in me, the foundation. And so I kind of slowly, because respectfully, started to share and this, that, and this, that. And before too long, I was heading the ministry. By the time I left, it had grown from like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 people to like 35. I don't know. I mean, it was incredible. People were getting healed. Conversions were being done. More people were coming. And I told the devil, I said, see, this is what happens when you put me in jail. I said, you screw with me, I take away from your kingdom. That was so funny. And it was interesting because, you know, when I was in jail, you know, every day I would confess. Supreme Court is going to let me out. And when it lets me out, it's going to be like if somebody put a BOMB at the door. The doors are just going to open up wide. And they're going to have to let me out no matter what. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Supreme Court came and all that. And that was kind of an interesting thing. I'll describe to you. I was called into the court by the head judge. Can't remember his name right now. Oh, Gilbert? Oh, God. Look. Oh, remember his name. Anyway. I got called. It was on a Monday. It was like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the afternoon. All of a sudden, I get a call that I have courtroom. I go, what courtroom? I don't have any court date and all that. They say, yeah, you got to go to court. Judge is calling for you. And so I went. I tried to make a phone call to the people that were helping me legally because I didn't know what was going on and how to handle it, this, that, and I couldn't get a hold of anybody. My buddy Bob Cheney, who did the writ of habeas corpus to get me out of to the Supreme Court of Oklahoma. And anyway, and so I went to the courtroom. Naturally they got me dragged up in chains and what do you call them? Handcuffs and chain around my waist and my feet because I'm such a bad dude. I mean, this is a father's a bad dude because he doesn't kiss ass of the judges. He won't accept abominations and unrighteousness, and I let them know it. So anyway, I got into the courtroom after a while. The judge came in, and Rick Clark was there. Dead Rick Clark. I did videos on Rick Clark, an effigy to Dick Clark, so that people understand, and that's going to get around Richmond and all that quite a bit. But anyway, the judge comes out. Gosh, I wish I could remember his name. He's not the head judge. The last time I looked, they switch around. But anyway, and he came out and he says, "Oh, Mr. Urbano, the reason I called you here into the courtroom is to have a hearing because about an hour ago I got a phone call from the Supreme Court of Oklahoma in relation to your writ of habeas corpus." I said, I had a feeling that's what it was, but I wasn't sure until we got there. And the reason Gilbert, I think his name was Gilbert. And the reason was because I asked the sheriff in the jail, I said, "Well, what judge am I going in front of?" And when he told me, yeah, possibly it was Gilbert, I think it was his name, I knew right away it had to do with the writ of habeas corpus. And so he said, well, I'm here because, like I said, that was the Supreme Court of Oklahoma concerning your writ of habeas corpus to his Emerson. I said, oh, okay. And he said, well, Mr. Urbano, I was reading over the writ and this, that, and you about disqualifying this judge and this, that. And he goes, you can't do that. And I said, I didn't say anything right away. Then I said to him, well, Your Honor, no disrespect, but before you and I have a conversation, I would like you and I to come into agreement that if you and I do have a conversation, that under no circumstances am I admitting or agreeing to come under the jurisdiction of this court. Now, if we're in agreement on that, then you and I can have a little chit-chat just like if we're having a cup of coffee. Now, if you're not in agreement in relation to that, then the only thing I stand on is the writ of habeas corpus. End of story. There's nothing more to discuss. He thinks about it for a moment, and then he goes, all right, Mr. Urbano, I'll be in agreement on that if you and I have a chit-chat that you're not under jurisdiction of the court. I agree to that. I said, okay, then we can talk. So he goes, well, Mr. Urbano, you talk here about disqualifying a judge in the courtroom. You can't do that. We got procedures you got to follow. You got to file form this and a form that and document this and that. And I said, well, with no due respect, Your Honor, you're 100% in error. You're wrong. He said, what do you mean? I'm wrong. And I said, yeah. I said, well, Your Honor, you're not there as a head judge because you're ignorant of the law. As in the law, there's the doctrine of voce viva, which is the living word. You are familiar with that. And in that doctrine of the living word, when I'm not in a position, or a plaintiff or a defendant is not in the defendant is not in a position to be able to write anything or do anything, then he can speak forward his claim. And so under the doctrine of voce viva, the living word, the spoken living word, which is interesting because that's scriptural, is yes, I can disqualify the Cantrell. And he and just give her like that. He's going, oh well, yeah, I don't know. If I said about it. No, I don't know. And I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do, Judge. Let's do this. I said, I will put in front of you within 3 days another writ that substantiates what I say 100%. And you and I agree right now that if that writ substantiates 100% what I read, then you agree right now that my incarceration as I'm standing here before you was a total fraud and a total criminal trespass against me in every way, shape, or form by Cantrell, and that he needs to be taken off the bench permanently, and we go from there. And he goes, oh, no, I can't do that. No. I said, well, why not? Why can't you do that? If you're so convinced that you're correct that I can't do that, when I know that I can, and I can prove it with a brief to that effect, then you agree right now that my incarceration was 100% illegal and a total fraud. Well, naturally, he wasn't going to do that, and I knew it. Anyway, we're going to keep going here in a moment. And